With the 2020 NBA draft in the rearview mirror, it's time to start looking ahead to the 2021 NBA draft. Now, usually this would be super early for a mock, but due to the unique circumstances, despite having the draft just a few weeks ago, players are already starting to make their college debuts, so we've got to talk about the top picks. So if you guys like my content, make sure you like and subscribe. Let's try to get 21 likes on today's video, and let's hop into it. Now for this video, don't get mad about what your team is. We're going based on the current Las Vegas projected win totals. This is obviously not the final standings we are going to see, but Vegas is usually as good as it gets, so we're going to see something pretty similar. It's always fun doing these mocks as you get to look back closer and closer to the draft. I mean, just look at this past season. Leading up to the year, outlets were projecting guys like Cole Anthony, RJ Hampton, and Jaden McDaniels as top 10, in a lot of cases, top 5 selections. All those guys didn't end up even being lottery picks. Now for this 2021 mock, we're starting it off with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I really hope no one is surprised that the Cavs again are competing for the top pick in the draft. They were terrible a year ago, and I don't think the additions of JaVale McGee and Isaac Okoro are going to change that anytime soon. Luckily for Cavs fans, they've got a shot at one of the best preseason prospects we've ever seen, in my opinion, Cade Cunningham. As of right now, it's really hard to imagine a player competing with Cunningham for this top spot, regardless of what team sits here. The Cavs are in a situation where they couldn't care less about who is on their roster or Cunningham's fit. He's a 6'7" point guard, built like a small forward. He's not a flashy player, but has an NBA-ready frame with a 7-foot wingspan. This past season, he led Montverde Academy to an undefeated record, and in a lot of ways reminds me of a former Montverde top recruit and number 1 pick in the draft, Ben Simmons. Now, he doesn't have quite Simmons' size, but their pace of play and elite court vision at an NBA-ready frame is very similar. But I think what's getting people so excited about Cunningham is his potential to score at all 3 levels, unlike a player like Ben Simmons. The winner of the Cunningham sweepstakes is going to be a very fun storyline to watch all year, especially with teams holding huge amounts of draft assets, such as the Oklahoma City Thunder and New Orleans Pelicans. The Knicks are another team that, again, are going to be one of the worst teams in the league. It's just a fact. I'm excited to see what RJ is going to do in his second year and their recent selection of Obi Toppin, but this team is still garbage until further notice. As of right now, it looks like there's a pretty clear number 2 prospect with Jalen Green. If anyone's going to compete with Cunningham for that number 1 spot, it's Green, based on what we know right now. Now, Jalen Green is in an interesting situation, as while most of these top prospects are starting to make their college debuts, Green decided to go to the G League this season, and it's unclear right now if we're even going to see G League games this year. There's discussion about a G League bubble, possibly in Atlanta, but nothing confirmed. Now, because of where Green's stock is right now, it actually might be good that we don't see him play. Scouts are excited about Green, a 6'5" guard with a 6'8" wingspan, a truly explosive athlete that flies above the rim and has a quickly improving jump shot. They are eager to see what he can do on the court this year. Green's probably the most jaw-dropping player in this class, so I'd be very excited to see him join this New York team. Now, with the position the Knicks will be in going into next offseason, they would probably move this pick and start contending with the possibilities available in that loaded free agency class. But if he stayed, man, if Toppin could be the player we hope, this would at least be one of the funnest young cores to watch in the whole league. With the 3rd overall pick, we've got the Detroit Pistons, and again, this should be no surprise. Despite some intriguing assets, in the short term, this team is straight garbage. Now here at 4, we've got one of the first early season risers in Gonzaga's Jalen Suggs. Now, as I'm recording this, we've only seen, in most cases, 1 or 2 games to go off, but that's been enough so far for teams to start paying attention to the former 6th-ranked player in high school. It's not easy to take over as the primary playmaker as just a freshman, especially when your team is the number 1 ranked team in the country. But on Thanksgiving, Suggs stepped up and showed everyone he's the real deal, putting up 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists, shooting 9 for 15 from the field and 2 for 3 from 3 against the number 6 team in the country, Kansas. This is a player that came in being praised for his combo guard skill set, size, and athleticism at the point guard position. But the ability he displayed against Kansas to initiate the offense was enough for scouts to start talking about him as a possible top 3 pick in the draft, especially given the circumstances of this performance. It's a weird season, and he had to go out there with all the hype and expectations and make his college debut against one of the best teams in the country. To start the year, he's looked like a truly gifted passer. The season is young, but Suggs' stock is up. This is not a match made in heaven for Detroit, who just took Killian Hayes, but until further notice, there's holes at every position for this Detroit team. The Oklahoma City Thunder are here at 4. A season ago, we thought this team was going to be at the top of the lottery, but ended up having one of the most surprising seasons in recent history. Now this time, I don't think that's happening, and I don't think they want that to happen. Unless Al Horford turns back the clock like 10 years, and Darius Bazley becomes a most improved candidate, I don't see really any scenario at all where the Thunder don't have some of the best odds at the top pick in the draft. Here, I've got them taking another player playing in the G League this year, Jonathan Kuminga. Now, Kuminga's very interesting at this point due to the type of prospect he is. Most years, we've got a player like this. I think the best recent example would be Nazir Little, a top-ranked player who has the frame, is an athletic freak, and while we don't need to see a lot for them to maintain their draft stock, they are definitely subject to falling without the hope of their skills catching up to their athleticism. Kuminga's exciting, 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan, an NBA-ready frame, elite athleticism, who's shown flashes on offense but is far from polished. With Isaac Okoro proving enough to go at the top of this past draft, it's hard to imagine Kuminga is not hearing his name early, so I'm really interested to see the opportunity available for him in the G League this year. Now, I want to make it clear, the comparison to Little was not a direct one. The chance for Kuminga to have a real wing skill set going forward gives him a much higher ceiling than I think Little ever had. Despite getting LaMelo Ball at 3 and bringing in Gordon Hayward on a max deal, don't get it twisted. The Hornets are far from playoff contention. Here at 5, I've got them giving LaMelo a future running mate and USC's Evan Mobley. It's looking like USC is going to produce back-to-back lottery bigs. Mosley's a 7-footer built for the modern game. Man, am I excited to see what he's going to do this year. I truly think he could be going higher than this when it's all said and done. 7 foot with a 7'4" wingspan is enough for people to pay attention, but it's a skill set that's really starting to get people excited. The coordination at his size, you just don't see very often. The thing that's going to be the difference maker for him is floor spacing. While I don't expect him to be hitting threes at any high volume, just minutes into his college basketball debut, he hit one down with confidence. His mid-range is beautiful, so I really think he can grow into a great floor spacer. I'm loving the comparison offensively to Chris Bosh, and with what he can do on defense, man, would I be excited about a Mobley-LaMelo duo. The Minnesota Timberwolves are interesting, as despite having a great duo with Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell, plus the most recent top pick in the draft, Anthony Edwards, they still have a ways to go, and it looks like they're going to be near the bottom of the Western Conference. Now, sadly for them, if they land here, it's off to Golden State, as they gave it up in the D'Angelo Russell trade with just a top 3 protection. Now here, I've got the Warriors grabbing Duke forward Jalen Johnson. Johnson is extremely well-rounded, standing at 6'9" with a 6'11" wingspan. This is a guy a lot of people are looking at as a small forward at the next level, who was getting praised for his playmaking out of high school, but went out and grabbed 19 rebounds and 4 blocks in his Duke debut. He spent a lot of time in high school handling the ball, which is what's getting everyone excited about his upside, but it's unclear where his shooting is right now. It's looking like he's going to be a lottery selection, but with how things are shaping up, these spots are going to be very competitive. Here at 7, the San Antonio Spurs are grabbing Kentucky's Brandon Boston. Boston's one of the smoothest players in this class. With the right production, he can be a top 3 selection when it's all said and done. At 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan, the size and length are enough for him to play the 2 or 3 at the next level. He shines with the ball in his hands, breaking down defenders, has a very smooth jump shot. Now, he's yet to make a 3 out of his 7 attempts, but I have a strong feeling that's just a product of sample size. The Spurs finally get a guy with some serious upside. At number 8, the Kings go and grab Stanford freshman Zaire Williams, another guy coming in with an exciting wing frame, but right now, it's his shooting at that frame that are getting scouts excited. He's off to a hot start, knocking down 3 of his 5 attempts in his debut. If he continues to be productive in that department, his stock is solidified. At number 9, we've got the Bulls taking Tennessee's Keon Johnson. Johnson can jump out of the gym and is extremely aggressive on both ends. He's yet to make his college debut, but as of right now, is 100% in the conversation to crack the top of this draft. For the last of the top 10, we've got the Washington Wizards taking Terrence Clarke, who's got elite size, length, and ball handling, which is enough for the Wizards to snag him with the unclear future in their backcourt. Now this is what we've got right now, and it's 100% subject to change as the season goes on. There's a lot of players here with the frame, the athleticism, but can fall quickly with underwhelming production. We also see risers every year. Last year we had Obi Toppin, the year before that JimmerRange, so it's going to be fun to continue making these all year. But that's the end of you guys. You guys tell me your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and the shoutouts are gonna be Evan, Bryant, Fizzle, Oscar, and Jamal. If you guys want to shout out in the next video, all you gotta do is like the video and comment liked or rep notification squad, and I'll shout 5 of you guys out. With all that being said, hope you guys have a great day, and peace.